Yes, forgive the sunglasses, but it is just bright enough over the front of the house that it's gonna get me. So, guess what I have for you? Those of you who have been so patiently waiting, I have a What's Your Why Not for you today. Oh, I am so sorry, you guys. I have a whole list of stuff in here for What's Your Why Not videos that I have already researched and have them all ready to go, and I'm telling you what, life has just eaten up every single scrap of time that there is. It's just, oh my goodness. I know I said at the beginning, like, I'm not gonna schedule this. I wanna let it grow organically. You know, when I find things, I'll share them. And I found a bunch of stuff, and then I was like, I'm just overwhelmed, and I have been for months. However, I will say, One Book July is starting to clear up some of that overwhelm. I was a little worried when I got sick, but it feels like some of that overwhelm is starting to clear up. So, what's your why not? I actually made some notes, so I'm actually going to look at them. That's what notes are for, right? Then I don't forget what I'm going to say. This What's Your Why Not is about forgiveness. And I don't mean forgiving other people necessarily, although that can apply. But when I very first started talking about this whole What's Your Why Not thing, somebody put a picture on Instagram of a journal page that she had done talking about that, about her feelings about it and what her why not might be. And one of the very first videos that, I said, what's keeping you from pursuing that why not? And one of the things that she had journaled about was that she was not forgiving herself. And I had never thought of that before. And I had spent months thinking about What's Your Why Not before I put any videos about it up at all. And that really struck me. It could be about forgiving other people too, but sometimes one of the things that can hold you back, and I've done a lot of reading and whatnot, and listening to podcasts in the last several months, looking into this whole self-forgiveness thing. So like I said, it can pertain to forgiving other people, because that can hold you back as well. If there's something that happened between you and someone else or whatever that you need to forgive and let go of, then obviously that applies, right? The whole, at least in my experience, okay, just my limited perspective, let's just throw that caveat out there right now. If I'm putting energy into like holding a grudge, whether it's against myself or somebody else, then that's energy that I could allocate toward pursuing my why not, right? And that, I had never thought about that whole concept of how am I holding myself back from pursuing a why not? And when she had said self-forgiveness, I thought, oh my gosh, I spent years kind of kicking myself every time I would pursue a why not, because of decisions that I had made that I regretted, and mulling those things over to the point that I was wasting energy on it. That's energy I could put into something positive, right? So this whole idea, and it kind of plays back into that whole idea of the golden people that we talked about, right? There are no golden people. And I want to clear something up really quickly. I've had, and this is the nicest comment, and I very much appreciate it, but I've had several people go, man, you just must have made some really good decisions to be as happy as you are, and you and your husband seem so happy, and your family seems great. And it's not so much that I've made good decisions at all, you guys. Oh, here comes Liam. There are no golden people. And believe me, hold on one second, guys. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Liam and I were messing around with the water table and the kiddie pool and whatnot earlier, and I thought he was going to come back out, so I had put some different pair of swim trunks on him, and he was goofing around with the kids in the house, and it's too loud in there for me to record in there, so I figured he'd be in there for a while. Well, he had taken his swim trunks off, and he came toddling out here in nothing but like a little swimmer diaper thing. I figured you guys didn't want to see that, so went and took care of that. So anyway, this whole golden people thing, and I hope that whole pause there didn't mess up anybody's train of thought. I apologize. I haven't made great decisions. As sweet as it is when you guys message me and say, oh, you must have made some really good choices. You guys, I've made some real crap decisions in my life. I am not even kidding you. And I think the worst time that I had with not being able to forgive myself went through a really bad divorce, single parent of 4 boys, and I played that over in my head for years. What could I have done differently? Could I have, was there something I should have tried that I didn't know at the time, to save this marriage? And I fought it for years because I did not want to have my boys grow up in a family that wasn't all together. And I seriously put so much energy for so many years into trying to figure out what I had done wrong and what I should have done differently. And there's no marriage that's simple. There's no divorce that's simple, and I'm not at all disparaging my ex-husband at all. It was how I handled it in the aftermath. I had 4 boys, pretty much to myself, pretty much all the time. So, that was a lot of my energy, Pretty soon I was working 2 jobs. So every spare moment that I had, I obviously wanted to be with the kids. So I wasn't really, except for when I realized, I felt like my brain was starting to atrophy because I wasn't pursuing any single interest or why not that was just for me. And that was when I realized I have to take these little 5 minutes here and there to read about something that I might want to pursue, or make sure, if I'm driving to work, listen to a podcast on the way to work, take that 10-15 minute commute time and give my brain something that's just for me. Not taking time away from the kids to do it, because I would have guilted myself like crazy over that too. But, I had to let that go. I had to let go of the replaying over in my head of what happened and what should I have done differently, and was there something I should have tried to save this that I didn't try? And that's crazy. That's crazy. And it finally started hitting me, and you'll find quotes everywhere that pertain to this, but you guys know I love quotes. If your life is like you're writing a book and you want to go forward and you want to pursue a why not, you can't move forward into the next chapter of a book if you keep going back and rereading the chapter you just finished. Which really, that really resounds with me. Now, I'm not saying that you can't look back on something, and maybe, this is just for me, you guys, please remember that, but for me, I had to start looking back at that situation, and instead of kicking myself and beating myself up over, there must have been something I missed, there must have been something I should have done differently, there must have been, it was done. It was done, and I needed to learn that if I was going to look back on it, it was going to be to learn something, that it was a lesson, and I was going to find something positive from that experience and not beat myself up over it, because beating myself up over it was not going to change it. It was done. So if you've made decisions that you or had things happen, to you or that involve you in your life, and you're spending all this time like I was, kind of beating myself up over it, and the whole thing was just so much, and emotionally just and there are so many answers you're never gonna get, and for the things that I was never gonna get answers for, I would beat myself up. And I finally realized that's such wasted energy. Instead of constantly looking back on that as a negative thing, I'm gonna look back on it for the time that it's gonna take me to figure out what I can learn from it in a positive manner, and then I'm moving forward. So don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with looking back on maybe you made a decision that really, really sucked. We've all done it, guys. Everybody has made crap decisions, every single person on the planet. So once you've made a crap decision and there's no going back, and then you realize you've made a crap decision, okay, what are you gonna do about it? If there's something you can change and you want to, and you realize, oh, that wasn't the best decision, then by all means change it, right? That might help you pursue a why not. If it's something that is done and can't be changed, and you're beating yourself up over something that involved more than one person and it's done, then it's time to maybe evaluate it in a more logical sense and maybe a less emotional sense, and go, okay, where's the lesson in that for me? Where's the lesson? Find that lesson, make it a positive thing, and then go forward. Start writing the next chapter. Let that last chapter go. It's done. Okay? And like I had showed you guys in my One Book July Week 1 update, I found a bunch of What's Your Why Not quotes. I pinned them on Pinterest. So if you guys follow me on Pinterest, I think my username is CLF Harling on Pinterest. But there's a What's Your Why Not board on there. And one of the things that I stumbled across, and that this has been one of my favorite quotes forever, and I'd honestly forgotten about it. It's one I wrote down in one of those books and put it away, and I never looked at it again. When you're busy looking back, okay, and pondering so hard, beating yourself up so hard over something that maybe it's time you forgive yourself for it, acknowledge it, call it what it is, own it, I messed up, I made a bad decision, it's done, okay? That doesn't define you. That one decision, I mean, really doesn't define you. There's so much more to you than that one decision, okay, guys? And Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And that's another one that really, really, really sticks with me. What happened to me before, what's going to happen to me in the future, are tiny, tiny things compared to what lies within me. What I am capable of doing, what I'm capable of achieving, my character, my self-worth, how I treat other people, all these things that make you who you are, the things that are within you, okay? And like we talked about the caterpillars, you know, the you already have what you need video. There are things that lie within you that you don't even know you have, you know? You may need to, maybe you make a bad decision and go through a really tough time in your life, partially because you made that bad decision maybe. And treating those times as a lesson will help you see the things you have within you that you never would have known you were capable of handling or doing or achieving if you hadn't been through that time to expose those parts of you to yourself. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But there's a lot within every single one of us that we can't uncover until we go through some junk, you know? You're not capable of knowing how strong you are until being strong is all that you have, till you have to be. And sometimes you need to look back at those bad decisions, call them what they are. If it was a bad decision, call it a bad decision. It's done. Acknowledging it, okay, it was a bad decision. That calling it what it is and owning it, at least for me, helps me take a step away from it. It's done. And now I'm going to go forward and I'm going to make other decisions, and some of them are going to be great and some of them are probably not going to be so great, because we're all human. There are no golden people, okay? But going through those really hard times, first of all, if you're trying something and you're failing, if you make a bad decision about something and you end up failing, maybe it's not because you made a bad decision, maybe it just wasn't meant to happen, but you can either fail at something, or you can spend all kinds of time not taking any chances and never knowing what would have happened. And if nothing else, regardless of what you decide to do, maybe you chose to pursue a why not and then realized it was definitely not what you thought it was going to be. It didn't work out the way you had hoped, or it wasn't working out at all and you were just getting frustrated. And maybe you're thinking, okay, this is not, you know, what I want to do. Those are the times that you learn something about yourself. And if you never take those chances, you can be really hard pressed to learn anything about yourself. If you never go through really difficult times, it can be hard to know what you're capable of handling and achieving. So that is the What's Your Why Not for the day, the self-forgiveness. To me, that's what self-forgiveness is. If I've screwed up, I need to look at it, own it. If I need to apologize to somebody, I need to apologize. And then I need to learn from it. I need to take something positive from it. And all of that, at least to me, is forgiving myself, because I'm doing something constructive and positive with whatever happened, this decision that I made, or something that I did, or whatever, that I'm beating myself up over. And instead of putting that energy into beating myself up, I'm putting it into learning from it so that I don't do it again, so that I unearth a little bit more about who I am and what I'm capable of, and all that stuff I have inside me that I don't even know is there yet. Okay? So let me know what you think. I feel like I'm really waxing poetic, and I hope it's not coming off as like fluff. But I was really, really thankful that she posted that picture on Instagram, because that really opened my eyes to some stuff that I was still beating myself up over that was holding me back quite a bit. So let me know what you think, and comments on the blog, comments here on YouTube, and I will hopefully be back. I think next week I'm gonna do another What's Your Why Not. I think it'll probably be a pretty short one, a link to a video that I'm hoping you guys will watch. Pretty short video. One of my favorite people on YouTube ever. He posted a video a couple months back that, again, really, I know I said earlier something resounded with me. I meant resonated. This video is one of those things that really resonated with me, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So until then, think about maybe if there are things that you need to forgive yourself for, or if you need to forgive somebody else for something, and take all that energy you're putting into playing it over and over in your head and reading that chapter you just finished, and look at it, own it if you need to, call it what it is, take responsibility for it, figure out what you can learn from it that's constructive and positive, and go forward. It's in the rearview mirror. Okay? You guys take it easy. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.